Is Mia, and I will be presenting my Triptych project. To start off, I'll be showing my mood board to show the overall aesthetic and vibe I was going for when making my Triptych. My series is called The Night Agent, and it's an action thriller spy show. To match that vibe, I went for colors that are darker, and I made sure to include the Netflix logo in my branding so people can know where to find the show. And I made sure to keep my font pretty similar to the title font. Next, moving on to my personas, I did research and found that my target audience is on the older side. So my main and secondary target audience reflect that. Here we have Andreas, and he's likely to watch my show because he's a film producer and makes similar shows like Citadel and Timeless. Then we have Maria, and she's likely to watch my show because she always watches the top 10 list on Netflix, and my show was top 10 for 12 consecutive weeks, so she is likely to have seen it. Then we have Marnie. She's a bit on the younger side, and she watches TV, but she doesn't always gravitate towards a thriller or mystery genre, so that's why she's my hidden target audience. Next is my competitive matrix, where I use the SWOT method to show the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, comparing my show against 2 other Netflix shows, as well as like YouTube true crime channels, which are just some other places where people might be drawn to. But I do think my show is still a pretty strong competitor. Then here are my thumbnails, where I explore different ideas of showing the main character. For my Triptych panel, I chose to do just one image across the 3 different panels to provide more focus for that main character. Here are the fonts I went with. I made sure to use both large, like regular, and thin fonts to help with the visual hierarchy, and I wanted to use mostly clean fonts to match the fonts used for branding for my show. Here's my framing billboard. I framed the character to be closer to the viewer, focusing mostly just on his face and torso, so it gives more of a personal vibe. Next is my layering billboard, where I place text both in front and behind the character to give a greater sense of depth and space. And last for my billboards is the transparency, where I applied gradients to both the front and back of the characters to give more focus to the lighting on the character, as well as the lighting in the background. Even though it's not as apparent, it's still there. Here's the combined poster triptych, where I put the 3 behind the character for the layering. I applied gradients to the bottom of the poster to provide some darkness and help with the legibility of the font. And I framed the character in the center since he's the main emphasis and the thing that people will be first attracted to when they see my triptych. Some places where I think these might be placed would be malls. For like the digital poster, you put it inside a mall. Lots of older people often go with their kids, so that's a place where that could be found, as well as a place like Times Square, a lot of space for digital posters and a large audience to see. Another example would be on a building where people can drive by and see the advertising, as well as, although it's not very common, you can maybe put it inside a movie theater where people are like maybe walking out, as that could just provide another opportunity for people to go see the show. Overall, I hope that my triptych encapsulates the branding from the original Night Agent through my use of the fonts, the dark colors, and my personal visual imagery through my different renderings of both the digital and print advertising. Thank you.